What's up, guys? We're going to talk about this video today that I saw on the Flagrant podcast clips that Billy Carson was saying many wild claims, as Billy always does. He makes massive claims with zero evidence, and that's just kind of his protocol of how he goes about things. Massive claims, zero evidence. One of them is that Jesus Christ is an alien. And then he also shares about his testimony of encounters with alien beings that ruined his family, he said. And we'll see how this is doctrines of demons. It's evil. And yeah, we'll just kind of get right into it. Nice to see you guys in the chat. Natty, Claude, Pringle, God bless you guys. So, all right, let's get into this clip here. First, we just got to look. This is what Billy Carson always does. And I pray Billy will come to the absolute truth of Jesus Christ. And sadly, these demonic evil entities, these fallen entities have led him down a path of the doctrines of demons. And that's what he looks into. That's what he follows. And we'll get more into that. But Billy makes wild claims with zero evidence. And this is what people who follow Billy Carson, who I pray will come across this video, will see. Listen to some of the claims this guy makes. It's always like this.
So when you start to look at the Americas, you discover that there were so many pyramids in the Americas. There were literally thousands of them. What happened to them? The Catholic Church blew up the tops of these pyramids and built churches on top of them.
No.
Really? Yeah.
Come on, bro.
Mark,
bro.
Yeah.
Hold on.
So yeah, the natural reaction is to laugh to that because there's zero evidence. And sorry, there may be a few bad words in this clip. Got to watch the clip for what it is, but for the hope that people will come to the truth of Jesus Christ through this. So Billy says there were so many thousands of pyramids in the United States and the Americas, maybe possible, but what happened? The Catholic Church went and blew them up and built their churches on top of them. You can't make claims like that with zero evidence, and that's just what Billy always does. And so this is why when he makes claims like, is Jesus an alien? We got to look into it and point it out for what the truth is, and that's an absolute lie, a demonic teaching. So let's check out this clip here. This is where he says that Jesus went to India, and that's how Jesus got his power and his teachings. Jesus wasn't the son of God. He was an alien, and he got his teachings in India and in Tibet, and that's how we know that Jesus has these powers. Let's see.
Is Jesus part alien?
I believe so.
And was he part alien and trying to do good?
Yes, I believe so.
So he was breaking away. He was using his power, and he's like, yo, what these aliens are doing to us is fucked up.
Right.
We need to break free from that, and I'm going to liberate the people.
Yeah, so you have to understand.
So again, sorry about the language, but we got to look at this for what it is. So Billy Carson's out here teaching people, thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people. They listen to him and believe his Anunnaki lies and these doctrines of demons, teaching that Jesus is an alien. Jesus is not an alien. There's zero evidence of this. This is here where we'll get into the whole Jesus went to India claim. No proof of this whatsoever. Again, big claims, zero evidence.
And he went there to study the Egyptian mysteries. He went there also to learn all about the ancient mystery schools. And then he left there and he went to Tibet to learn the mystic art. Tibet, he went to go learn, not mystic arts, but went to go learn spirituality.
He went to Tibet?
And mystic arts, yes, mystic arts. And then he went down into India, learned about reincarnation and all of that. And then he came back down and he reappears in the biblical text when God says in the Bible, I called my son out of Egypt.
What an episode for Akash to miss.
I'm sorry. This is why I will continually point out and expose Billy Carson until he finally comes to the truth, because he makes these insane claims. There's zero evidence that Jesus went to Tibet. There is zero claims of this anywhere in history. The first claim of this was in 1800s from some guy in Russia who claims Jesus went to India, learned his teachings there, learned his teachings in Tibet, and then went back and taught. Now, why would Jesus, if this was the case, not come back and teach these things in the Bible? Why would the stories of the Bible not teach this? Why is there not a single apocryphal book or any other book that teaches that Jesus got his teachings in India and came back, and that's where he got all his powers from? When the first account of this is in like the 1800s, or the 18, what was it? Let me see here exactly. We can read on this website here on Compelling Truth, saying what about this claim, this absolute 100% lie. Let's go right here. The first modern writer to claim Jesus traveled to India was Nicholas Notovich in 1894. And in 1908, the Aquarian Gospel Jesus Christ, Jesus the Christ, taught that between the ages of 12 and 30, Jesus traveled to India, Tibet, Persia, Assyria, Greece, and Egypt. Other claims have followed a similar pattern, yet none are rooted in a solid historical research comparable in date to the traditional gospel accounts. This just goes on for years and years. The missing years are the lost years of Jesus between his childhood and his public ministry. Jesus started his public ministry after his first miracle in the wedding of Cana. So it doesn't matter what happened in between the years of this, and there's no evidence that he went to India. Billy Carson's, practically his Bible, is the Emerald Tablets of Thoth the Atlantean. He always goes back to it. When you watch these clips on this podcast, he goes back and says, Thoth, they're teaching Atlantean teachings. We're on Atlantis. The earth is Atlantis. All this, they're hiding the teachings of this. Jesus probably got his teachings from Atlantean civilization. The Emerald Tablets, there is a version of it that's like a paragraph long that is a historical document, and that is real. The Emerald Tablets of Thoth the Atlantean is a 1930s pseudo-historical book written by occult leader Maurice Doreal, influenced by ancient Egyptian texts of Lovecraftian stories and part reptilian civilizations emerging from ancient Egypt-like ruins. It details Atlantis, an ancient race of serpent-headed men, alchemy, and a variety of other topics. This guy, Maurice Doreal, was a failed car salesman who in 1889 and between 1963 created a cult, the Brotherhood of the White Temple, in Colorado, and he created this Emerald Tablets of Thoth the Atlantean. There is not a single historical document of this text. And so Billy is just totally off the mark here. He's scamming. He really has the Antichrist spirit. I'm going to try to not be too harsh on the guy, because my desire is the same desire that God tells us his desire is for all men to come back to the truth of Jesus Christ. And so that's my prayer for Billy. But until he stops the Antichrist spirit and the Antichrist teachings, he needs to be pointed out for that and guided lightly back to the truth, which is always 100% in the Bible. Now let's listen to a few of Billy's encounters with these alien beings that were clearly fallen entities of some sort within Ephesians 6:12. And we'll listen here what he has to say.
Hands were very long and dangly like you see on TV. I swear to you. And I was just like completely shocked. Now, there's two things happened to me after this situation. The first thing was, of course, I scared the hell out of everybody. The second thing was, I kept hearing this voice in my head over and over again, worldwide telescope, worldwide telescope, worldwide telescope, over and over and over.
So Billy shares after his encounter with aliens that he scared his entire family. He actually says earlier in this clip, he lost his entire family. You can see him emotional, crying, because his first family, I guess he left him because it scared them so bad. It scared them so bad. And so what do we know? Well, I was going to pull this up later, but what do we know that the enemy does? Satan does? John 10:10. The thief comes to steal, to kill, and to destroy. I've come that they may have life, Jesus says, and that they may have it more abundantly. So when his family is destroyed over a encounter with these alien beings, comes from the enemy. Let's hear this next clip on this.
And the more I looked, the more of these anomalies I kept seeing. So it led me down a whole rabbit hole into anomaly hunting. That anomaly hunting got me into researching these ancient civilizations. That's how it happened. That's literally how it happened.
This encounter led him to continually do this, to look into this other information. Through this alien encounter also made him lose his family. What does this say? What does it say when this encounter with whatever these beings are leads him to this lifestyle? Now, the Spirit expressly says that in latter times, some will depart from the faith, giving heed to deceiving spirits and doctrines of demons. Why do these beings, every time they teach people, leads them now down a life of searching occult teachings? This guy writes books. Everything he says is based off this Thoth the Atlantean occult writing from Maurice Doreal. Why is that? Because it's a doctrine of demon from an evil being.
But when you even look into the book of Revelations, it says you're going to get a new name and a new body. It didn't say you was going to be a spirit with energy. It said you're going to get a new name and a new body, a physical body, and that you're going to live inside of that body. And so you're going to come back and be born again. You know? And
he's trying to use the book of Revelation here to say that and even the gospel accounts, when you're born again, this is Jesus teaching reincarnation. These are the wild claims. This is the Antichrist spirit claims that Billy Carson teaches. And you have to be on alert of this. This is not at all what Jesus meant in John 3:3-7. Jesus answered and said to him, "Most assuredly I say to you, unless one is born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God." Jesus, according to Billy, so wise, went to Tibet and got all this information, but didn't have the foresight to say that one needs to be born again into a physical reincarnation. Of course not. Of course, Jesus knew exactly what he was saying. Billy just has to be going off of these doctrines of demons, which are rooted in an antichrist spirit that teach the opposite of what Jesus teaches. Let's continue on here. Nicodemus said to him, "How can a man be born while he is old? Can he enter a second time into his mother's womb and be born?" Just how do you be born like a reincarnation? How would you do that? Jesus clears it up here. Jesus answered, "Most assuredly I say to you, unless one is born of water and the Spirit, he cannot enter the kingdom of God. That which is born of the flesh is flesh, and that which is born of the Spirit is spirit. Do not marvel that I said to you, you must be born again." Now we know because of the thief on the cross who accepted Jesus that sometimes people accept Jesus, they don't get baptized, and they're still saved. But baptism is an important thing. What do we see here? Listen to this. Let me find this for you real quick. Where was that? Oh, right here. Keep listening to this clip.
Biblical text where people are getting confused about this born again, like in the spirit thing. It's really born again in consciousness. You know, getting dipped into a bucket of water and all that's a waste of time. Somebody dumping you in the pool and all that, you just get wet. Dumping babies and splashing the babies. It's a waste of money, a waste of time. You know?
So there's Billy, I'm sorry to say, teaching from the Antichrist spirit, mocking baptism, saying that baptism is bad. And here Jesus, and the fact that he is drawn instantly to go to mocking baptism while saying the same thing just shows that it is an evil spirit trying to discount this connection here that Jesus says when you're born again, you need to be born in flesh and spirit, and through water as well, through baptism. So baptism is an important part of the Christian faith, not to be mocked at all, and that's pretty serious offense. And I really pray that Billy would come back to the truth here, because not back to the truth, but come around to the truth, because he's down a very dangerous path at the moment.
So I would imagine it'd be hard for a person in your shoes after having these experiences to not think, hey, they want me to go look into this stuff. Is that kind of what you feel?
That's a fact. Now, what I've done is to try to combat.
So there we hear Billy says, when Andrew asks him, so the fact that you had this encounter, does that make you think that this is what led you down this path? So hearing this doctrine of demon led him down the path of a life of losing some of the things in his life. And you can just see that it changed the trajectory of his life. And that's how we know this is a spiritual phenomenon in so many ways. It scared him. I had the clip pulled up, but I think it may have gotten mixed up. But he says while having this encounter with these beings, that he was in the house, he encountered these beings, and no one in the house heard him. He said his wife was in the next room, his kids were downstairs. No one else heard this experience when these two beings came in his room, terrified him. They were speaking telepathically, completely terrified him, and it eventually caused his family to be separated. If that was a physical, real event that took place in the natural world, obviously the family would have seen it as well. He said the power went out in his room, all this stuff cut out, but it didn't happen in his family's. They didn't experience this. This is how we know this is some sort of spiritual thing. We know that Paul says he knew someone taken into the third heaven. People have had near-death experiences, gone to hell, gone to heaven. There's different things that can happen where people encounter the supernatural realm. And when people are encountering these beings that now lead you to a life of discounting the Bible and the biblical truth and not believing in the only way to get to heaven, we can know that that is 100% from the enemy. And that's my prayer for Billy to come to the truth, because this is what John 14:6, the truth is, Jesus answered, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. Billy teaches many false teachings, very easily provable. Huge claims, zero evidence. You can't just say the Catholic Church is going and bombing pyramids in America and building churches on top of it with zero evidence. And all these things, you can see how the Bible counters everything that Billy says, and it's from a place of spiritual wickedness. So that's my prayer, that Billy would come to the truth, and anyone who believes these lies, these Anunnaki alien being lies, would come to the absolute truth. I thank you guys for hopping on. I wanted to stream here today on my main channel. This is what I do on my second channel, Sling and Stone Live. Let me know in the comments if you like this type of video here, and if I should do this on my main channel sometimes here as well. Wanted that to be for you guys. Thanks for hopping on. I hope and pray that you have a good day. And most importantly, this is, we want Billy to be saved. We want these people who believe all these different doctrines of demons to come to the saving truth of Jesus Christ. I was lost. Many of us were all lost at one point, and we came to the truth through Jesus Christ. The Bible is the word of God. There's no forgotten books that tell the absolute truth like Billy teaches. These lost gospels that teach the truth, but the Bible is false. But then he counts every word of these pseudo-apocryphal books and these lost accounts of Jesus or whatever. So the Bible is the truth. We want all people to get saved, and that's only going to happen through Jesus Christ. Thank you guys for hopping on. Again, I do videos like this on my main channel. I'll try to do this, or on my other channel, Sling and Stone Live. We'll do it more here. God bless you guys, and have a